Hello there, and welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash, the curator of this channel, and it's our goal here to provide lifestyle, skills, tips and advice to people who are on a journey to becoming the best chaps that they can be. Now, being chap is a multifaceted thing. It's not just about dressing dapper and having a sort of insight and a taste for the finer things in life, whilst also honing your skills of perhaps oracy, public speaking, and your ability to communicate with others. For me, very much part of being a chap is the downtime, which actually builds up those blocks, which makes me the chap that I am. Now, part of that is enjoying time outdoors, and if you look at some of the other videos I've done, and I will do in the future, spending time outdoors is at the very top of my sort of list of things to do, which I help to rebuild myself and to rebalance my mind. But the other thing, which is hugely important to me, is fitness and exercise. I'll be 50 in just a few days. And for me, part of aging or slowing down the aging process and looking the best that I can is keeping myself in trim and looking after my mind and my body. So one of the things I do is I run quite regularly, a few times a week. I'm by no means an accomplished runner. I just do a little bit of running to keep myself fit. I do compete in the odd 10-kilometre race. I do park runs on a Saturday with my family, which is just 5 kilometres, 3 miles or so. But I just like to keep myself ticking over. I'm not a distance runner, nothing like that. 10K, 6.2 miles is kind of my daily regular running distance. And that just really helps me to stay on top of my fitness and keeps me looking trim, which is important when you enjoy dressing and looking your best. So I want to share with you, because I've been on this journey for a long time, and I've always had difficulty in finding a good pair of running shoes, which I have found I can just slip on, go out and run in. I've gone through numerous shoes, ended up with blisters, or they don't last that long. But I found a pair of shoes that I'm going to talk about today. So a very quick product review. And, if you're looking for a pair of shoes or you're thinking about taking up running as a New Year's resolution or whatever you're aiming to do, you want to see a new you in 2020, these are a good pair of shoes that you can pick up and they should be good to go from the beginning. So here we go. I'm going to turn the camera around and you can see what I'm talking about. So these are the stars of the show. This is the Brooks Ghost 12 multi-purpose running shoe. And I've been using these now for around about 6 months. My running experience tends to be road running or slight off-road, park running, things like that. And for that regard, these shoes seem to be perfect for me. And I'm sure they'd be pretty good for most normal neutral runners as well. So what can I tell you about these shoes other than what you can see here? I've put a few 100 miles on these shoes, so I speak with an element of confidence in that I've given them a hell of a road test through all sorts of weathers. I started running with these in the British summertime. It's now early January, so they've been right through the winter, and you can see this bit of mud, bit of grime on them. I've really put them to the test, so I'm quite happy to give you a sort of showdown on how good they've been. So what can I tell you about them? Well, they're a neutral road running shoe, really, which means that they tend to suit people with a neutral gait, which is, I would guess the largest majority of people. And they are quite well cushioned. I think they are described as being quite heavily cushioned. They weigh about 10.4 ounces for a man, 9.3 ounces for a female. So it makes them, quite a medium weight shoe. They've got a heel to toe drop of 12 millimeters, which puts them in the sort of very average category. And I have to say, they've got a really nice feel to them. Although they're not particularly light, they're not like a sprint shoe or a light running shoe. They are, there's quite a good toe off with them. I think that's the expression people use. You feel like there's a lot of bounce. The cushioning, which is Brooks's own, I think they call it DNA loft cushioning, and there's a combination of other cushioning as well in the heel. It's really quite cushioned. So when you do a bit of running, I would say, you could travel quite long distances in these without feeling any ill effects from people who just want to do park runs, say 5 kilometres, to people who are training for the marathon. My wife actually ran the London Marathon in 2019 in a different version of these shoes and had absolutely no problems whatsoever. Not a single blister in her whole training regime. So there's a lot to be said for this Brooks DNA cushioning, this loft cushioning, which they call it. There's quite a lot of flex in there. You know, it's not a rigid shoe, so there's lots of give. This upper that you can see is a single piece upper, so there's no overlaps, there's less opportunities for blisters or anything like that. And for me, it just makes a very good and comfortable shoe. I mean, I used to get blisters on sort of this area of the instep in other shoes. Absolutely no problems whatsoever with these Brooks. So very, very good. So there we are. I mean, I'm not going to go into wax lyrical about them. They're a running shoe at the end of the day. They're available in about, I think it's 5 colours for men, 4 for women. They cost around about £120 at this point. So they've been out for less than 12 months, but obviously as the time goes on, and Brooks tend to bring out a new model annually, there is a reduction in price as they cease to be the sort of more modern, the very last model. So keep your eye open for sales and bargains and deals as they come along. Although, to be honest, for £120, I think it's a steal. Having tried many shoes and not found one which really suited, I think these Brooks are absolutely killer when it comes to covering, general daily use, middle to high distance mileage runners. You could even, if you wanted to, there's some lovely colours they come in. You can wear them as a casual shoe if you just want to walk around in them. Just a tip. I take a size 8 UK standard size. I upsized by a half size, and for me that made for an entirely comfortable shoe when it came to running. The previous model I had, a Brooks Ghost 11, I had in half a size less, and I have to say they were not as comfortable. That extra half a size, 8.5 for me, because I'm a size 8, made the difference between extreme comfort and just normal comfort. But I think the 12 was a significant upgrade for me in comfort over the 11. Not just, I think, because of the size up that I took, but really good quality shoes. They will serve you well, and as they have done me for many hundreds of miles at this point, and I look forward to a few hundred miles more. So there you are, the Brooks Ghost 12. Hope you've enjoyed this little insight into them. And if you're looking for a running shoe that can take you to a new you in 2020, certainly give these some thought. Well, there we are, chaps. I hope you found that an interesting sort of product review into the Brooks Ghost 12 running shoe, which I have to say, I remind you, it's the best shoe that I have found. I'm not endorsed, they're not free, nothing like that. These are just shoes that I've encountered, and I found them to be the best that I've ever run in. So useful for you, perhaps, if you're going to run. Now, don't forget, this is all about you and me, this channel, going on a journey together. So please do leave any comments or views that you might have in the comment section below. I really look forward to receiving comments, and I do answer all of them personally. Also, don't forget to like this video, because it means a lot to me to know that you're gaining some value and enjoying the material that I put out there. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon, because that means you won't miss any of the future material that we put out here on the Chap'S Guide. Thanks very much.